Alrighty, well, hello sinners. How are you? On today's installment of the Letterboard of Truth, our quote of the day is, "The stakes are high, and this person's cholesterol is even higher." I've noticed a sharp increase of anti-science rhetoric on social media over the past few years. I think the anti-vax attitude, exacerbated by the pandemic, propelled this mindset into the mainstream, which is why we're seeing it more often. But now, the new pandemic is the current wave of health influencers who are promoting borderline dangerous diets, condemning the use of sunscreen, and worst of all, claiming they can cure people's poor eyesight for the price of a Chipotle burrito bowl. And yes, I use Chipotle as a form of measurement.
You may have been told that you need glasses, but that's actually a lie. There are mental, emotional, physical, and even spiritual reasons why you may not be seeing. And I'm here to tell you that that can be healed.
That is just about the goofiest thing I've ever heard. I thought I needed glasses because I'm nearsighted. Turns out my vibes were off this whole time. Who knew? But don't let this woman get behind the wheel. Please. The saddest part is that these influencers fully buy into their own bullshit dogma, or at least they appear to. They truly believe they're making good health decisions. But really, they're putting themselves and their viewers at risk for long-term health issues. But no matter how many facts we try to throw at them, unfortunately, I don't think they'll realize the error of their ways until, heaven forbid, they meet their demise. Speaking of meat, the latest fad diet to make the rounds on social media is the raw meat diet. If you thought flat tummy teas were bad, you have no idea what you're in for. Both will make you shit your pants, but I think the raw meat diet is the worst I've ever seen because of the numerous warnings against consuming raw meat. Not that that's ever stopped me. Just kidding, I'm a lesbian. For example, you're more likely to get infected with foodborne illnesses because of the amount of toxins, parasites, viruses, and bacteria in raw meat, which are contracted during the slaughtering process. This includes Salmonella, E. coli, Listeria, and many more. But these pathogens are mostly destroyed when you cook the meat. So if you're not cooking the meat, that's an issue. So why are people voluntarily choosing to eat like cavemen? I truly couldn't tell you. But this raw meat TikToker was interviewed by our friends over at Truly, and according to her, she looks hot because she eats raw meat. Well, that's a new one. Truly, formerly known as Barcroft TV, have delivered many classics I've reacted to in the past, such as I Married My Cousin and I'm 18, he's 48, now we have twins. So, Truly has set the bar very high, and we can only hope they reach our expectations yet again. But before we learn how eating raw liver can make us more attractive, let's meet today's sponsor. I had to. I'm sorry. Despite the fact that billions across the world experience menstruation, many people still insist that it should remain a taboo subject. And if this time of the month is mentioned in the media, it's usually depicted in an inaccurate or unflattering light. By fighting against this stigma around periods, we can help others who menstruate feel more included, strengthened, and empowered. If you're also a bleeding bestie, then you know that getting your period is not pleasant. However, using reusable menstrual products has helped make my time of the month a little easier, and that is thanks to today's sponsor, inti-MEAT-a. inti-MEAT-a strives for education, progress, creativity, and fearlessness. Like me, inti-MEAT-a is determined to destigmatize the conversation surrounding periods, which is why I love working with them. So if you're looking for a more convenient, sustainable, and cost-effective way to manage your period every month, look no further than inti-MEAT-a's Ziggy Cup 2. The Ziggy Cup 2 is a reusable menstrual disc with a flat fit and rib tab for slip-free removal. All you have to do is squeeze the sides of the rim with your thumb and index finger, then insert the back rim of the cup first and use your index finger to push it in. Make sure to angle the cup back and slightly down, and when it's time to take your Ziggy cup out, Hook your index finger into the rib tab right here for a slip-free removal. The Ziggy Cup 2 comes in two sizes, A and B. The A size is designed for newer users, lighter flows, or those with a lower cervix. Likewise, the B size can handle any level of flow, and it's perfect for people with a higher cervix. And best of all, both the A and B size can be used for mess-free period sex. If you're into that, of course. And since Black Friday is coming up, now is the perfect time to try out the Ziggy Cup 2 for yourself. The link at the top of my description will take you to inti-MEAT-a's website, so be sure to check out all the amazing discounts they're offering this Black Friday. And perhaps maybe some gifts with purchase. I don't know, you gotta check it out for yourself. When you shop with inti-MEAT-a, you're supporting not only your reproductive health, but also my channel. So thank you in advance for that. And thank you to inti-MEAT-a for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to your scheduled programming. So the description says, would you choose to only eat raw meat if it helps clear your skin and lose weight? 19-year-old India Castley from Southport, England, who switched to the carnivore diet over a year ago, says this has been the best thing she's done to herself. She's certainly doing something to herself. I don't know if it's a good thing. Now, I've heard of the carnivore diet. I've actually seen a few people on TikTok who claim that switching to this diet has helped them with their eczema. But as far as I know, they at least cook their meat. Miss India here does not do the same. So do we know for sure that her eating raw meat helped clear her skin and lose weight? Or was it because she cut something else out of her diet? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe I'm judging. From raw steak and eggs to beef fat moisturizer, India claims the raw lifestyle has transformed her physically and mentally. I'm probably judging a little too soon. Let's hear what India has to say. Also, trigger warning, raw meat. If you don't want to see that, then I don't know how you made it to this part of the video. That is probably the strangest warning I've ever given on one of my videos. Let's get into that raw meat, baby. Not this trigger warning. Always consult medical professionals before undergoing any changes to your diet. If I had to guess, I think 99.9% of medical professionals would recommend cooking your meat before eating it. Also, if you haven't noticed, I will be going into a little bit of hater mode today just because I think this is so absurd. And normally I don't care about what other people eat. And I know people go on certain diets because of medical reasons, like the eczema thing I mentioned before, but I don't really see a net positive to eating raw meat. Like, if you Google, can you eat raw meat? Literally every article is about why you shouldn't eat raw meat. So Miss India, I don't know what the hell you're doing here, but you should probably not be doing this. I'm just gonna say that right now.
I'll see what I have for breakfast.
Ooh, she's just biting right into that. Wow.
I don't think veganism should be a thing. I've never really come across a healthy looking vegan.
Whoa. All right, listen, I'm not a vegan. I'm not on any specific diet. The only thing I cut out of my daily eating is tree nuts because I'm allergic, so obviously I'm not gonna eat it. I'm gonna sound like a pick-me for a second, but leave vegans alone. Yes, are there annoying people in the vegan space? Absolutely. Have I seen vegans who've made being vegan their entire personality? Absolutely. But I have seen that even more so from the raw meat community on TikTok, so you are not one to speak. And I'm not the arbiter for health and wellness, but something tells me that eating impossible meat, for example, is a lot healthier than eating steak that looks like it just walked off the farm.
Don't think there's any risks.
I don't know, just like seeing her just like bite into that raw piece of meat is just giving me whiplash. I'm sorry.
I was like 4 or 5 stone overweight. The carnivore diet has made me well hot, I reckon.
See, I don't know what 4 or 5 stone means. I'm American, so I'm uneducated in that realm.
A few moments later.
So according to my, aka Google's math, she was about 70 pounds overweight before she went on the carnivore diet. So for all my fellow Americans watching me, you're welcome.
I've not tried raw meat before.
She's gonna serve this to people? Oh my god, she's trying to like kill her friend. Babe, you got a biohazard on that plate. See, this is why you don't eat at other people's houses. You know, you either gotta make yourself something beforehand or go to Wendy's right after. Not that I necessarily trust the meat at Wendy's more than this meat right here, but at least Wendy's cooks it.
Hi, my name's Inti, I'm 19 and I'm from Southport. I'm an influencer.
Oh. All right, so maybe this is just like a me problem, but I hate when people call themselves influencers. I don't know, I just feel like there's such like a bad stigma around being an influencer. But I don't know, maybe that's just a me problem. Maybe I'm projecting. Anyway, that's not the point. Let's go back to raw meat.
The diet and lifestyle that I do is raw carnivore. Basically, meat and organs and eggs and dairy.
Egg. So we're just gonna drink this.
Oh, we're just chugging the egg, huh? Take a moment of silence for that.
And you can have fruit in it, but I don't really do that.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going into full hater mode. I feel like I'm being very nitpicky right now, but doesn't eating this much meat, especially raw red meat, make you tired? I don't know. Personally, if I was eating raw meat all day, every day, I feel like I would want like an apple or a grape or a peach or something to like cleanse the palate. This just seems like a bit much. IMO. Not that I would ever eat raw meat. That's what she said. Like, listen, I love my medium steaks, but this is a little pushing it a little too far. All right, let's check out her haul here. Hey guys, welcome back to my raw meat haul.
I've bought some pig liver, some lamb liver, and some lamb hearts.
Great, we got all the essentials. We got pig liver, we got lamb liver, we got lamb hearts. I was so scared that she was gonna forget the lamb hearts. Now I could sleep peacefully at night knowing that she got that.
For breakfast, I'd probably have liver or steak. Went to the butcher's earlier.
Oh my god, that fridge must stink.
Oh, brother.
She clears it out in like a day or two, so the meat's not staying in there for long.
For lunch/dinner, I'll have steak and liver or heart. And then if I get hungry in the evening, which I don't really do, it'd probably be steak or liver.
Oh my gosh. Her poor arteries and her poor toilet.
Hey babe,
Hello?
what are you cooking?
Are you hungry?
What are you cooking? Come on. Also, I love the dad shirt. That is definitely something I would wear. Yeah.
I've been on the carnivore diet for just over a year now.
Oh, not you too. The bathrooms in that house must smell crazy. They smell insane.
I came home one day and my dad was telling me about carnivore, and at first I was like, no, you can't eat all that meat, surely that can't be good for you. And I got quite like angry at him because I'm like, why would you just want to eat meat and all that?
My exact reaction.
But then I done my own research and like seeing how much it's helped people feel happier, and I was like, right, okay, I'll give this a go. And it literally like changed my life. But my dad's like 50% carnivore now. I still find like sweet wrappers and that in his car.
So it's bad if he eats a piece of candy once a week, but it's fine if he eats raw lamb liver every night. Also, is it just me or is she not speaking loud enough? Because all I can hear is that plate of steaks mooing.
I've had some like weird looks when I've been eating steak in my car, that's raw.
Girl, not in the car. Raw meat in the car, that is something else. That is truly something else. Is it probably for rage bait on Instagram? Yeah, but still. I don't know, do you need the likes that much, bestie?
Ask me when bothered. Are you bothered? No.
I used to suffer with really bad acne on like my back, my bum, my legs, all over my face. Like it was really bad. And I found like that the modern day skin products just wasn't working.
I feel that. I feel like a lot of products are very hit and miss and it's not a one size fits all kind of situation. So yeah, totally feel that. And it's like you need to play around with what products you're mixing into your skincare routine. Personally, what I found best was going to a dermatologist and seeking professional help for my skin routine. But it's also true that changes in your diet can affect your skin.
Especially if you have sensitive skin. Sorry, I'm starving.
And I
Come on, time and place. Oh, guys, I'm really starving. I know I'm being dramatic, but like I can't get over the whiplash from talking into the camera like a vlogger, like an influencer, to like gnawing at a piece of red meat.
wanted to go the natural route, so I used like beef tallow, which is like basically beef fat, and I just rubbed that all over my body and it's cleared up like 99% of my spots.
She's rubbing meat on her face. I've never heard of that, though. That's interesting.
In a month, I probably spend £300 maybe, which is not bad for a month's worth of food, and you don't need to eat that much because it fills you up.
Honestly, hear me out. That's a pretty good deal, especially in today's economy. I don't know if it's come across your For You pages or your Twitter timelines, but I've seen a lot of those posts where someone's like, here's what I got at the grocery store for $100, and it's literally like 2 bags with like 10 items in it. So maybe she's onto something, because I feel like spending $300 on food per month is not that bad. And yeah, she's right. Meat does fill you up because protein tends to fill you up faster. So like, I don't know. Maybe she's onto something. Maybe I gotta get into the raw meats.
When I go to restaurants, which isn't very often, I usually get my steak cooked blue. So it's a bit cooked, but mainly raw. Because they won't give you it raw for safety reasons.
Well, yeah. That's like kind of against FDA guidelines. I assume against like health and safety guidelines for restaurants. That sounds like a recipe for a lawsuit. You know, depending on the restaurant, she probably gets her food like that quickly because they barely have to cook it.
Going in the air fryer.
No, we're having it raw.
We're having it all raw.
Unless you want yours cooked.
Now, I know they live in the UK, but I think India and her father are the perfect Thanksgiving guests. Now, hear me out. From what I've seen, preparing a turkey is a pain in the ass on Thanksgiving morning. I've never personally prepared one myself, but I've watched my mom do it, and bless her heart. It sounds like a pain in the ass, and you're not even sure if it comes out right until you're serving it. But if you have India and her father over, you don't even need to cook it. All you gotta do is defrost it the night before, put it on a nice plate, and serve it. That sounds so easy. I hate turkey. They love raw meat. It's the perfect recipe. You know, I'm starting to see the vision.
Before I started Carnivore, I was very big. I was like 4 or 5 stone overweight.
We tried the vegan diet, heard about the carnivore diet, thought everyone was crazy, and he sold.
Yeah, put loads on.
I was trying it. India was very wary, and then when she looked into it more and started trying, her attitude changed. Everything lifted and went up.
As much as I might disagree with India's taste for raw meat, you know, I'm sorry that she was in a bad place a year or however long ago. I never like hearing that, and I hope she's in a better place now, mentally, physically, emotionally. She can eat all the meat she wants. I don't care about that. Just maybe cook it. You know, you don't have to make it well done. Cook it so at least you're not at risk for salmonella or whatnot. And it's totally fine if the vegan diet didn't work for India and her father. You know, everyone's different. The vegan diet isn't a one-size-fits-all type of thing. But to make the claim earlier that you've never seen a healthy-looking vegan is a very generalized statement. Are there vegans who approach the vegan diet in an unhealthy and unsustainable way? Absolutely, but I'm sure there's millions of vegans who are able to make it work. At least from what I've seen on the outside, the vegan diet has become a lot more mainstream over the past 10 years or so, and there's literally substitutions for everything. So I'm sure most vegans are able to make it work and make sure to get all of their nutrients for the day, you know, despite not eating meat and fish. So I don't know, I'm glad the raw meat diet is working out for India and her father. I just hope they don't face any long-term health issues.
The change in it is night and day.
Before Carnivore, I just hated the world.
Since I was young, I've been in toxic relationships that have made me feel unsafe.
I was in such a bad place. And I was just horrible because I was like, how can the world be so horrible to me when I've barely like become an adult and all that? I was like, is this just life now? Is it just gonna get worse and worse and worse?
Honestly, I can empathize with that. Like, growing up is hard, especially your teen years. Like, the world isn't very nice to teenagers. Teenagers aren't nice to teenagers either. You know, between that and puberty and hormones, like, it's a recipe for disaster. You know, so I'm glad India was able to climb out of that. And I hope she continues to, of course.
I've heard about the carnivore diet. I had motivation to do stuff just to get me out of the house, get me out of bed, work on myself.
But I never said the carnivore diet gives you a free BBL. You just go work hard in the gym.
Because I was so happy on the inside, I started being happy to everyone around me, and it literally saved my life because I don't think I'd be here right now if I didn't make that little change in my diet.
You know, it's great that she found something that worked for her. I'm just thinking, like, how long is it until your body rebels and you start feeling the effects of eating so much raw meat a day? Now I'm just like worried for her. I've gone past like poking fun at it. I don't know, I'm concerned.
I didn't plan on making something out of TikTok.
Oh my God, biting into the raw meat. I'm sorry, I'm never gonna get over that. I can't get over that. Just like not even a knife and fork, just like grabbing it like it's gonna run away, which it might, because it looked like it just walked off the farm. It do take nerve.
And then I done one, eating raw steak.
You know I like it raw.
That's what she said. Ah.
I've already been jumping on this.
And that video, like, proper blew up.
Got me steak, obviously.
But I was like, why is it blowing up?
Gotta say, I do respect the hustle a little bit. I always love seeing women thrive in business. I'm just torn, like, yeah, of course I support India girl bossing it up, but like, at what cost? The cost of her stomach lining? Her toilet, her arteries, her cholesterol.
Snack time. I've got this massive piece of liver here.
Do you think I'm doing it for attention? Which I get it, because obviously raw meat's quite frowned upon, but if you do your research and know where the meat's coming from, then it's fine.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that if you raise the meat on your own, like on your own farm, it's a lot healthier or a lot safer than store-bought meat because you know the slaughtering process and stuff. But like, we've only seen her get meat from a store. So it's like, you don't know where that meat is coming from. You don't know what it's contaminated with. And it's like, what research? Every doctor advises against eating raw meat. Me when I lie on the internet.
My best friend Mackenzie, when I first told her about it, she was like, no, you can't be eating that. That can't be very safe for you.
Mackenzie's right. Right? She's a friend. She's looking out for you.
Yeah, I'm quite nervous. I've not tried raw meat before. I never heard of it at first, but I realised how like happy it made her.
She's always got like low energy or like not in the best of moods and that. And I tell her you should try going carnivore.
Like, yeah.
Oh my God, she's trying to kill her friend. No! Oh my God! I'm no chef, but that needs a little something, you know? No seasoning, no marinade, nothing. Hot sauce, ketchup even. On that note, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Sometimes I eat my steak with ketchup, all right? Sue me. At least my steak's cooked.
Come on, straight in. And just chew and let all the flavours fall out.
No, it's not as bad as I thought. It's actually alright.
Don't tell me Mackenzie's gonna start eating raw meat too.
Salt on.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, can I go heat this up in the microwave? You mind?
Honestly recommend everyone try the carnivore diet.
Oh, she's having a liver. No more than that, girl.
Everyone deserves to feel as happy as I feel.
No, not less.
No, what? Did you can't even get the taste?
Straight in, start chewing.
At least her makeup slays, though. Both of their makeup slays. You're gonna eat raw meat, might as well look pretty while you do. Oh, that sounds so bad. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, I can't think when I got raw meat on the brain. That's what she said. She's like, I need a sip. I need a sip of water to wash that shit down.
I think the carnivore is for everyone because even going back to our like caveman times, if you look at books and all that, this is all they used to eat.
I thought cavemen mainly ate like fruits and leaves and stuff. Like, yeah, they probably ate raw meat too because they didn't have air fryers and grills back then, but like, just because our ancestors ate it and it worked for them, that doesn't mean it works for us because like, we know better. Like, we don't have to do this. No one is forcing you to do this. You want to feel connected to your ancestors? Look at a photo album. I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like in this day and age, people always just want a solution that's like, you get it right away. You don't want to work hard for it. It's not a long-term solution, it's just short-term. Yes, I'll be on the carnivore diet for the rest of my life. You're gonna love life. And before you knock it, try it. So yeah, I think we're all meant to be animal-based.
Oh, God. I don't think I'll ever get over just her biting into raw meat. Eat all the meat you want, but, you know, grill it, cook it, not even a little bit of sauce. In conclusion, don't do this. I think I made that abundantly clear. As for India, you know, I hope she continues, you know, on her mental health and physical health journey. I hope she continues being in a good place. I wish her and her family all the best. I just hope she realizes the dangers of eating raw meat before it's too late, before it negatively affects her down the road. And even if she's fine now, you know, because she's young, she thinks she knows everything. And I don't mean that in a negative way, because I have those tendencies too, but like, you know, just because your young body can handle it now, that doesn't mean, you know, in 5-10 years from now, it's gonna look the same, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, let me know what you think of the raw meat diet. Would you ever try it? Have you ever tried the carnivore diet? Let me know down below. If there are any other similar videos to this that you'd like me to react to, please also let me know down below. I plan on making another video about raw meat TikTokers in the very near future, sometime in the Sinmas season. So if there are any other specific TikTokers you'd like me to look into, please let me know down below as well. And in general, if there's anything you'd like me to talk about going forward, I have a Google form linked in the description where you could submit your video ideas. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this, make sure to give it a tiny thumbs up and subscribe down below. Thank you to inti-MEAT-a for sponsoring today's video. I love you guys, cook your meat, and I'll see you soon with a brand new video. Bye! Oh my gosh, I look like someone's Italian grandfather. Slay.